Hey everyone, and welcome to Darkness Dissected. When you bring to mind a haunted location, do you think of abandoned buildings covered in cobwebs? And don't forget the creaking floorboards, or maybe a spooky mansion? Well, today's haunted location is nothing like that at all. In fact, it's in a beautiful location, said to be haunted by two star-crossed lovers. Florida offers many things to locals and travellers from around the world. You have theme parks, blistering sunshine, and of course, fantastic beaches to name just a few. But there is one hotel in St Petersburg that truly stands out above all the others. It commands your attention, not only by its size, but also its unsubtle colour, which has garnered it the nickname the Pink Lady. So why is there a love story attached to this magnificent hotel, you might ask, and who were they? Well, let's take a look at the history behind the Don Cesar Hotel to discover this, a place visited by the rich and famous and surrounded by tales of love and heartbreak. Thomas Rowe was born in Massachusetts in 1872, the son of an Irishman. He's described as being a lively and intelligent man with big dreams. It was while studying architecture in London that he went to the opera one evening to see Maritana and instantly fell in love with its lead soprano named Lucinda de Guzman. The young couple were completely smitten with each other and would secretly meet up each night by a water fountain that was situated close to the opera house before finally deciding they were going to get married. In front of a pink hotel by the beach, the young couple promised to be together, but there was a problem. Lucinda's father was said to be of Spanish nobility, and there was no way his daughter was going to end up marrying a commoner like Thomas. He forbade any kind of union taking place, and the couple were torn apart. But before they separated, they promised to write to each other regularly until the day that they could finally find a way to have their happily ever after. While supposedly struggling with health issues in 1924, Thomas came across an 80-acre plot of land for $100,000 that he wanted to purchase in St Petersburg, Florida, with the idea of bringing to life his love story, a pink hotel by the beach. With the help of architect Henry DuPont and contractor Carlton Beard, the trio came up with a grand design, one that blended different styles of architecture. It would have balconies, widely arched walkways, a red clay roof, and other grand features. Due to the ground that the hotel was built on being prone to sinkages, a floor plan was devised that consisted of a concrete pad and pyramid-style footings. To this day, their design is held up to environmental pressures. On January 16, 1928, the hotel opened its doors for the first time, standing at 6 stories with 110 rooms and baths. If this was not enough grandeur, the hotel was expanded on a few years later. Now it has 220 rooms, going around 300% over budget, with a production cost of around $1.25 million. It is said that each evening, Thomas would stare out of his bedroom window over the grounds below and walk the beach alone, with his head looking towards the sky, dreaming of his Lucinda. He wanted her to hear about the pink hotel he'd built, the one that resembled the hotel they'd declared their love for each other in front of, and named Don Cesar after William Vincent Wallace's protagonist in the opera Maritana, where he met Lucinda. Surely all the news of this fabulous pink hotel would reach her ears, and she'd come and see for herself. They may once again be reunited, but this was never to be. For many years, Thomas continued to write regularly to Lucinda, but they were always returned unopened. Not once did he receive any correspondence from his beloved. That is, until one day a letter finally arrived with a covering note. Inside the letter, Lucinda begged to find out why Thomas had never written to her, not once. And to make matters worse, the letter was accompanied by a covering note from the family, informing him that Lucinda had died, and many feel that she may have died from a broken heart. Over the years, many powerful people walked through the doors of the hotel, from mobsters to movie stars, politicians and bootleggers. No matter what trouble seemed to be going on in the world, the Pink Lady seemed unaffected, likely due to very good management. For example, during the Great Depression, a deal was made with Jacob Ruppert, who was owner of the New York Yankees. It was arranged that the team would stay at the hotel during springtime training. But then tragedy occurred in 1940. Somewhere along the way, Thomas gave love a second chance and married a woman named Mary. It was not a happy marriage, and for Mary, living in a hotel dedicated to another woman, well, that can't have been easy either. Anyway, sadly, it was his wife Mary that came across his body in the lobby of the hotel where he'd succumbed to a heart attack. The hotel was left to his wife, who it seems struggled with keeping the hotel up and running as World War II hit hard. In 1942, the US purchased the hotel and for a while converted it into a military hospital, before turning it into an administrative office for Veterans Affairs after the war. By 1967, this once impressive, gorgeous property was left empty to decay, and by 1969 was scheduled to be demolished, a decision that was met with serious anger by local residents. Thankfully, the Holiday Inn purchased the hotel, saving it from destruction, where it finally reopened its doors again in November of 1973. From this point onwards, the Don Cesar has gone from strength to strength, with the addition of a spa, second outdoor pool and beachfront restaurant. It changed its name officially in 2001 to reflect its new additions, now being known as the Don Cesar Beach Resort and Spa. So, that's the story of the hotel, but what about our two deceased lovers? Where is their happy ending? Well, it seems that the spirit of Thomas has been seen many times over the years, walking along the beach, dressed in his favourite white Panama suit and hat, like he did in life. But sometimes he's not alone. One gentleman came across the lovers while visiting the hotel for the first time himself since his wife had died, a place they'd visited and loved while she was still alive. Well, the old guy checked into the room they'd always shared, and after discovering the beach was too busy, decided to take an evening stroll along the beach. As he walked, he lost track of time and came to a section of beach that was pretty quiet, and as he looked up, came across a couple walking together along the beach. The woman wore a lovely pink dress over a bathing suit, while the man wore a white Panama suit with the bottom of his pants rolled up. The man said that they looked quite stately as they strolled the shore, but something seemed off about them. When he looked more closely, he noticed that their feet were not touching the sand at all. They left no footprints. Looking around, he desperately tried to get someone else's attention so that they could confirm to him what he was seeing, that he wasn't going crazy. But due to having wandered off down the beach, there was no one else around. Other people have also said that you can see the spirits of Thomas and Lucinda by the fountain on the grounds of the hotel, and that people have even conversed with the couple as they were greeted like old friends. The couple have also been witnessed on the 5th floor of the hotel, where Thomas had his own personal living quarters. But it may be that more spirits haunt the hotel and its grounds than the loving couple, and this could have something to do with its time as a military hospital. People have described an eerie feeling coming over them in certain rooms, while the spirits of dead soldiers and guests of the hotel from long ago have also been seen walking around as if lost in time. So what do you think of the tragic love story of Thomas and Lucinda? Do you feel that it is their spirits that people are witnessing, finally together, even if it is in death? Do you feel that the spirits of deceased soldiers could also be walking the grounds? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Honestly, I found this haunted location quite intriguing because for me it was more about their story than the hotel itself in many ways, as it seems without their tragic relationship, the Don Cesar may never have been built, which would have been a tragedy too, as this hotel is truly breathtaking, and with the views of the beach and the sea, it is worth a visit. The staff are also very welcoming, even if they're from beyond the grave. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and that you're getting through the hot summer relatively unscathed. Cooler months though are on the horizon, and that also means spooky season. As always, my friends, until next time, stay safe out there.